The major key to your better future is you. Unless you change, nothing else will change. So if you want better results, you've got to change. The first time I heard those words were in was in 2015, about 10 years ago, when I got into the personal development phase of my life. Through some business opportunity, I stumbled on the personal development industry. I got introduced to it by listening to Robert Kiyosaki, Jim Rohn, Tony Robbins, and it had changed my life, transformed my life. I went from a graduate student making no money for about a year and a half looking for a job to six figures, GS 13 in the government. By following the principle I've learned in the personal development industry, I really took my life to the next level. I started a business and I started YouTube. But really, when I was struggling and trying to figure out what to do with my life after graduating and not finding a job, those words from Jim Rohn talk to me. The major key to your better future is you. And I've kept it in my heart because every time I deviate or every time there's a challenge and I start complaining and trying to put the blame on someone, it reminds me that the only person I can control in the equation is me. It gives me it gives me assurance and confidence that I can attack and solve any problem because I am responsible 100% of whatever happens to me. We live in a society where it's okay to complain. It's okay to put the blame on somebody else. If you're not careful, you will give your power out and forget that you are powerful. So that quote reminds me the power that each of us has that we can use at any time and tap into it to really change and transform our lives. It gives me freedom when I listen to it and when I apply it. Freedom to know that any situation where I find myself, I'm the one who created it. 100%. Even if the other party, right, did something to contribute, at some point I had a choice and I choose to be in that situation. It's like going to a job and having a bad boss and complaining about the boss. At the end of the day, you accepted the job, you signed up for it. Whatever happens, good or bad, a good boss, a bad boss, you'll deal with it because when accepting that job, you had many options. You had the option to work or not work, but I don't want to go to that extreme. You also had, most of the time, other job offers. And one funny thing in life is sometimes we forget that the situation where we are, the job that we have right now, was a hard decision to make and we had to choose amongst other options. I'm saying that because after a while, people find themselves 10 years into their career, or 20 years. And it seems like it's the only option they got. Like, they cannot quit, they cannot think about doing something else. That job became the cornerstone of their life, and they don't see themselves doing anything else. Which is fascinating because when making the decision, you didn't know. You could have went to another company, you could have went to another state, you could have gone there, but you didn't. I guess what I'm trying to say is the decision we made 10 years ago cannot be the only option. If after a while you find yourself out of place, needing a change, the best thing to do is to change it, because you know the three, like Jim Rohn said, we are human beings. We got the freedom to live where we want to live, drive what we want to drive, given that we can back it up with the work that we can do. So finding yourself in a difficult situation just because you don't believe you can change or you can quit or you can have the freedom to do what you want to do, it's your responsibility. Because by the way I see it, if you're a human being, you have the freedom to do anything. You know the three, and if you made a decision 10 years ago because it was advantageous for you, and down the line it doesn't align anymore, it's time for a change. I'm not saying that because I don't understand the risk. I understand the responsibility. Sometimes we got a mortgage, we got a car payments, we got families to feed. But at the same time, life is, short to live a stressful life, being anxious, being depressed. And one thing I learned from the personal development, on top of what I already said, is your family doesn't need your self sacrifice, they need your self personal development. Meaning, a lot of people sacrifice their life, sacrifice their freedom, sacrifice their dream, and then put their family in the responsibility that they didn't ask for. What your family want instead is a healthy you, a better you, a you that creates opportunity for them tomorrow. So if you take care of yourself, your health is a priority. That means you're going to live longer to be there for them when they need it. When they get to your age, they will still have your voice to guide them. They will still have your financial support. But if you sacrifice yourself, working 16 hours a day, eating fast food, not developing your communication, not developing your skills, struggling, drinking, being angry all the time, do you think that's the best version of you that they want to see? And on top of that, you might have a heart attack, diabetes, things that shorten your life. In my opinion, if you can do better, do better. Do the push-ups. Work out. Eat better. Because the major key to your better future is you. It takes one decision, one small step at a time to get to the best version of you, to make better decisions for yourself and your family, to grow, to provide for the family, provide for the community where you live, to provide for the world. But it gotta be step by step. And it starts by you. This is my message for today. The better